All right. Hey everyone, how is everyone doing today? I hope everyone is like fine. I was just telling Rachel that I apologize. I had to come into work today, so if you see people behind me or me turning my head, I'm so sorry. But I wanted to just take a few minutes and talk about something that I actually took all week to figure out what am I going to talk about. And when I literally came to this decision, it's because I get this a lot from actually, well, there she is, from Jen. I actually what I'm going to talk about is because I got this from Jen, and it's pretty much why should you own your story? And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about today. So if you see me looking down, because I like typed all this up because it came to my mind and I wasn't going to remember it all. But part of living a happy and wholehearted life has to do with being vulnerable and letting yourself be seen fully. So I learned why you should own your story and stop feeling like a character in someone else's plot. Do you ever feel like a character in someone else's play, like a victim in your own story? If so, it might be time to start owning your own story and letting yourself be seen fully. The background behind this concept is that in our culture, we can share, we can so much about seeming buttoned up, having our shit together, and being perfect that we're afraid to let our true, real selves be seen. Ever notice how, like on your Facebook and your Insta feeds, you see like people that are happy, uplifting, and positive stories? I know I do. I see that a lot. No one talks about the struggles and the painful stuff. And the truth is, people don't want to hear it on social media sometimes. People only want to hear about struggles if you can follow it up with, and this is how I overcame it and am so much now. Follow up story. It's pretty much what it is. But this is also backwards, as I put it, because the journey of struggling and the painful stuff, and that's where the learning happens. The struggle is as important as the outcome. And yet we can't share this part with anyone because no one is open to hearing or receiving it. So it's harder to learn from it and make sense of it all. The people that are living wholehearted lives are really good at being vulnerable, at being open with their real and imperfect selves and letting them imperfections be seen. They work to break down any barriers to feeling shame around what they feel and are honest and open with their loved ones about who they are and what they feel. So my question to all of you guys is, do you own the failures, stumbles, and falls in your own life? What would it feel like to share these with others? And this part, what I'm about to say, I sat down and stared at this good old sentence for at least 5 minutes. But I recently owned my story, my own story. And I've been recently sharing this on like Facebook lives. But at the age of 37, I lost my husband to cancer and became a raging alcoholic. I know you guys know that I lost my husband, but you guys didn't know that I became a raging alcoholic, and I did. So I sat down and was like, oh my goodness, do I really want to say this? But I have to own my own story. So I asked myself, did I really want to share this part of my past? Do I want to let my readers, my family, my friends, my colleagues, whatever the case may be, know this part of my story? Will people, I thought about, will people judge me? Will they think differently of me? But then I thought about, who cares? I don't care. If I'm going to become a successful promoter in this business, I have to tell my story. Then I need to tell the whole story from start to finish, not the abridged version I'm used to telling. I used to beat around the bush a lot. I used to. But now I'm tired, and if I want to become successful, I need for people to understand how I got to where I'm at. So lastly, have you ever been a victim to the shame game? I know I have been. Have you withheld a part of your story because someone shamed you? Or maybe you shamed yourself, maybe. What part of your story do you still need to own, and how will you get there? Start writing it out and telling your story, the whole story, as if no one was ever going to read it, and take ownership for it all. Know that whatever your story may be, you are worthy of love and belonging. Whatever your story is, you guys are enough. Once you accept this, you will start to live your life as if you are worthy of love and belonging, and everything else will fall into place. So this took me a while to do. I, like I said in the beginning, I did not know what I wanted to talk about, but as I sat here and I thought about it, I thought about what Jen used to tell me all the time. I need to tell my story. And not only does she tell me this, but she tells everybody that. That's just a given. She tells everybody that. And I used to tell my story, but again, I used to beat around the bush. And nobody was, well, how should I put it? Everybody was saying, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, whatever. But until I fully opened up just recently on a live, talked about where I was almost 6 years ago to where I'm at now, people started coming to me and saying, oh my God, how much can I relate to you? Not the part that they may have lost their husband, but to the part where they have lost someone in the mix. They understand like my rage. They understand where I was coming from because they have lost somebody, which was their mom, their dad, sisters, brothers, whoever, could be an uncle. But they understand where I was coming from. And they understood that, oh my goodness, if she can do it, so can I. How did you do it? And so I told that. How did I do it? I told them pretty much, look, this is where I'm at. I lost my husband at 37. This is what happened to me. Not only did it happen to me, but it happened to my kids, but I was more focused on me because I was not putting my kids in that situation. And this is how I am overcoming it. And yes, I incorporated like the products or whatever in there, but these are the reason why these products have helped me. So by telling your story, you may not reach out to, a lot of people at first, but you will eventually, because like everyone says, someone is always watching you. And by telling your story of what you used to be to what you are now is like 100% fulfilling, because it makes me feel so much better knowing that I am reaching, I don't know how many people out there, by just telling my story. I'm not trying to, like everybody says, I'm not trying to sell them anything. I'm just trying to sit up there and let them know that now I'm a 43-year-old single mom that used to be married and have like a great life. But now when someone in that mix is missing, my world was like shattered. My world was totally shattered. And when it was totally shattered, this is what happened. This is totally what happened. So this, like me talking about this, like hit home, and I'm hoping it would hit home for like you guys too. Because telling your story, and even if it's a happy story, it don't have to be a sad story, but just mine happened to be like sad to like happy, will reach many, many people out there. And I tell this story not only but to social media, but to like now my friends and my family. Even though my friends and family knew what happened to me in my life, they just didn't know how it affected me, because I didn't show my raging alcoholism, or I didn't show how mad I would be. It would be to the point where I went to the grocery store, and if somebody looked at me mad, I would like slam the like, you know what I mean? The refrigerator like door in like the grocery store. And so nobody knew that about me. And I didn't show that with my kids, but I showed it to everybody else. And so by you telling your story hits home for like a lot of people, because you never know what they're like going through. You absolutely never know if somebody can relate to you or know somebody that could relate to you and say, oh my goodness, girl, you have to watch this like story, because she is like the version of you. And look what she did to make herself better. And here I even tell my story here at like work, and they be like, oh my God, like Olivia, you don't seem like the type of person that, and I mean, I don't look like it, but it did happen to me. And by you absolutely telling or talking to people about what has happened to you, and you don't have to go like all into great details. I mean, there's a lot of other things in the mix of my story that I know I won't tell because it's like just truly, truly personal. But the abridge of it, they will understand and they will know where you're coming from. So that's like my spiel. I hope it like helped. But that's all I have. So thank you.
That is really awesome. Thank you so much, Alita. Because that's like the other thing too. Like we forgot to tell our story. We just like throw things and forget to tell who we are and focus on us instead of going around the world. And that's like be authentic about.
Hi.
Thank
you,
for sharing.
lovely. Like you are,
Thank
you
you.
know what I think. Like you're so brave. Like most of us would be the same, and we'd crumble if something like that happened to us. So you're amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us, because I know that's not easy to share something like that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to say one thing super quick. I think that I love how you said about making sure we tell like the downside to our story, because I think so many of us are just trying to be positive in a really shitty world right now, but we forget, at least I forget, that it's that struggle and overcoming that struggle that's really going to inspire people. So thank you so much, Awilda. That was awesome. And there was parts of that story I didn't even know. So, and I feel like I probably know you better than anybody else. So.
A lot of people don't know like the story. To be honest, my parents didn't even know. I hid it very well. I really did hid it very well. Something I'm not proud of, but I mean, it happened. It happened, and I'm proud to say I made it over the hump. Because it could be worse. So, and that's the only way that I feel I can reach out to people in some sort of kind of way, is have people relate to my story.
Yeah. And Jen's right. We as people don't like negativity, so we promote positivity. So we tend to get, I know I definitely do, like it's positive quotes, it's positive lives, it's, you know, positive stories, but there's never anything about what you might be going through at the time. Like, unless we're on here on a Zoom and somebody knows what you're going through and you're in tears, like me and Talita most of the time, like then we know like what we're going through because we're with each other, but we don't show that to like the outside world. You're right, it's always like that positive front, and it is a front.
My 13-year-old.
Exactly. Like we don't show like that, you know. I can be screaming at Lily one minute on Zoom with Talita and Selena, and then I'm going live all happy the next second, and I don't show the stress that I've just been through 5 seconds ago. It's true, we all do it, we all put that front on. When, you know, Selena will do it today, her back's killing her, she's been in pain for days, but she'll put the front on, she'll put the smile on, and she'll go on live, and we all do it. But yeah, you're so brave, lady, you really are. Like, I'm proud of you.
Oh, well, thank you. And Selena, I totally feel your pain. I pulled a muscle too in my back, so I feel your pain. But I'm here at work and I gotta, you know, get it done. But it was just all about, you know, telling your story. And like I said, I just recently started telling my whole true story, because what I used to tell before was I was just beating around the bush, and that wasn't just cutting it for me, because if you want people to understand where you're coming from, you have to tell it from start to finish.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you so much.
So thank you very much. And I appreciate you guys, but I got to get back to work. So I thank you very much for giving me your time.
Thank you,
Thanks.
lovely.
Bye-bye.